Yes, good morning everyone. I'm Tor Lillqvist and I work for Collabora. I'm talking about some work we did to make Collabora online, also work using a local LibreOffice technology in the browser directly. First, what problem this is supposed to solve is that if you are using Collabora online and then the internet connection breaks, like if you are in a train and it goes into a tunnel or something more drastic like your cables break or whatever, earthquake, and then you can't edit anymore and you can't even save the document locally, so you risk losing your, well, not risk losing your work, but you can't continue your work. There will be an autosave copy on the server, of course. And the solution to this problem is then that when the connection breaks, the JavaScript running in the browser notices this, and instead it then starts using this WebAssembly application that has already been downloaded to the browser. And now then the JavaScript parts of Collabora Online, they instead talk to this WebAssembly code instead of to the remote server. And also the idea is that the current version of the document has been downloaded in the document format, that it is not bitmaps as normally just for showing. And all editing functionality works as before. And then when the connection comes up again, the idea is that the document is uploaded, and then again it switches to using the Collabora Online server. And we call this functionality COWASM for now, but I don't know if that's the final name for it. And the status of this work is that we have done the part that relates to building LibreOffice technology and Collabora Online for WebAssembly for WASM or as WASM. And also then Collabora Online using this works, but it has some performance issues. But in theory, the technology seems to work fine, as expected. But this switching back and forth between using a server and using the local WebAssembly that has not yet been implemented, and at the moment this work is paused but will maybe continue later. And I want to thank Allotropia here also for helping us doing this work, and they also, Allotropia did the initial work of making LibreOffice technology built for WebAssembly. And here we have a bug in LibreOffice. If I remember correctly, this slide is supposed to say that what is not a good solution for this problem is that you have a, well, not a good solution in all cases, is to have a local installation of LibreOffice or Collabora Office, because many or some environments are very restrictive that you aren't allowed to install Collabora Office even on your local machine. And WASM, that is WebAssembly, it's a standardized way to run code that you have compiled from a traditional language in a browser. And WebAssembly is a format, a binary format, that is, I think it's somehow based on LLVMs, or maybe not, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, it's like a very binary format, and it can then be run in the browser or in some other environments that are not browsers. And it has been supported on all the major modern browsers for some time already. At least Safari, Chromium, Chrome, Firefox, Edge. And then another word that is often used for these things is mscripten, and that is the toolchain or one toolchain. I guess there might be several others also. It's based on Clang and LLVM and produces WebAssembly. And also the runtime C and C++ libraries are then included in this concept, I guess. And it provides much of a normal Linux API, also including then threading and the file system, but the file system is then in memory in the browser. And especially these threading things were a bit unclear at first when we started this, will it work or not, and it seems to be supported on all these platforms, in all these browsers now. And there are several versions of mscripten. It's developing all the time, and the version mentioned there is a bit old, but I know it works also with a newer one. And this what Allotropia did, like already some year ago, was to make LibreOffice run in the browser using WebAssembly. But then it uses Qt to provide the UI inside the browser window. COWASM does not need to use any Qt because, of course, we have the JavaScript part that provides the UI. And when you build this WebAssembly binary, you compile all the parts of LibreOffice core, LibreOffice technology that are needed, and then also the external libraries that it uses, and the C++ code in Collabora Online. And these all are compiled and linked into one big binary. And then the JavaScript code in Collabora Online, it works more or less as before. It just uses talks to the COWASM binary instead. And the C++ code does not display anything. All the UI is handled by the JavaScript. And how does this then work? It actually is quite similar to how the iOS and Android applications work. They are also based on combining all the C++ code into one program and running it as one single process. And that there is just one process is also like one important thing here, because if you compare to normal Collabora Online, it uses a lot of processes. There is one master process and one process per document being edited. But that's not possible in an iOS or Android app. And instead, in a way, we use threads. And the same idea is then used for COWASM too. Yeah, here I tell about these processes. And they communicate using sockets that are then using the WebSocket protocol. And what corresponds to the different processes in normal online then correspond to objects that run in separate threads in the process. And in order to not have to change the code too much, we kind of simulate using this inter-process communication by using this in-process buffering that we call fake socket. And if you want to experiment with how this whole thing works, it's also easy to do without actually using any mobile device or using WebAssembly, because there is a GTK app that is basically structured the same way and can be used for quick experimentation. In the future, when/if this is developed further, using quite so many threads and these fake sockets inside the process is not entirely ideal. It would be better to just simply replace this passing of messages over this fake socket by directly calling code in another object. But still, even if it's not the ideal solution, it has worked fairly well in the mobile apps. And if you want to read more about how to build this thing and how to develop it, there are a couple of README files, both in LibreOffice itself and in Collabora Online. And thank you. That was all for this.